right now. Actually, I got diagnosed with COVID a week ago. So I came outside to just get out the house and just take a little walk. I am a little exhausted, but I've been sitting in the house for a week now, sitting in my bedroom, not even just in the house. I've been sitting in the bedroom for over a week now, and I am tired of being confined. So I said, let me go outside. I apologize for the sound of my voice, but when God speaks to me, whether I got COVID, whether I am exhausted, whatever is going on in my life, I vowed that I will be obedient and I will be vulnerable and I will be open and I will share whatever it is that I'm going through because I know that if I'm going through it, that there's somebody else out there going through it too. It's not just me. Oh, I don't even know how I sound to myself. My voice is so deep, but my throat hurts a little bit. But as you can see, the title of this really quick is When God Speaks, I Listen. And it's true. I listen. Whatever He says to me, I listen. I've been going through a really, really rough time the last couple of months. I don't know if any of you guys have watched me in my past things. Has first off, did I introduce myself? For those of you that don't know me, my name is Amber Nicole. I am a trauma and confidence coach, relationship and confidence coach. Sorry, but I specialize um, in women who deal with like real deep traumas from relationships and other, not necessarily just boyfriend and girlfriend. It could be parent relationships. It could be family relationships, whatever the case may be. Anyway, so that's what I do. I'm here to help, serve, and heal, and teach women how to show up for themselves. But anyway, so like I was saying, when God speaks to me, I listen, I talk, I be obedient with you, and I get back and I say what needs to be said. But I've been going through a really rough time. Like I said, I don't know if any of you guys have known, but if you go back and you listen to some of the things that I've talked about, I shared that I was going through. My mom got diagnosed with cancer 2 years ago. She passed away in May. So that was the first blow. Obviously, the blow was trying to take care of my mom. And then she passed away. And so now I'm dealing with the grieving of that. It's been a couple of months. We're in November 2nd now. She passed away May 18th. So here we are, and I'm dealing with that. Then I'm dealing with some issues in my relationship with me and my spouse. Everything's not perfect there. I'm not saying it's horrible, but I'm just saying there's some triggers and some things that's going on between the two of us from both ends. I'm getting on his nerves. He's getting on mine. A lot of it coming, some of it stems from freaking being in the house from COVID all last year and now this year and trying to figure things out. Some of it is financial. Took some blows last year and this year. Just being honest. And so me and him are really, trying to figure things out and trying to get things together and squared away. So I'm dealing with that. So now I got my mom's passing away and I'm dealing with the relationship. Me and him both run businesses. We know the stress of businesses. Like being an entrepreneur is hard. You know, it's rewarding. It is very rewarding, but it's difficult. It's difficult when you go through the ebbs and flows and seasons. It's really difficult. And so we've been dealing with that. I'm sorry, but yeah. So I've got on here, and I really got to this point. And then now I got COVID. I've been sitting in the house, and I'm just like, Lord, like, show me something because I am so tired of struggling. I'm so tired of dealing with some of the things I'm dealing with. I really like need something. I need a breakthrough. I need a sign. I need something because I'm struggling, right? And so God, I got in my closet today. First off, one of the things that I stopped doing that I noticed is getting in my prayer closet. Now I still pray and meditate, but I really was doing it by my bedside. Before I used to always get in my closet, shut the door, get a candle or something, get in there and really, really pray to God and really sit and listen. Now I got to the point where I'll pray and then when I meditate, I put my timer on and then once it's over, I'm done. Today I was like, I'm not even gonna do that. First off, I'm on quarantine, so I don't got nowhere to go, right? So anyway, so I got in my prayer closet today, sat in there, prayed, Like, God, I need you right now. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on. I got so many changes happening in my life, some good, some bad. I've made some connections in the last couple of weeks that I'm looking forward to doing, partnering with some people. So I have things that's going good, but then there's still some things that's moving a little slow. And your timing is perfect, but it's not on my time. And so we know how that is when it comes to having to be patient with God, right? You know how that goes when you're just like, listen, God, I need you to hurry up because I'm tired of waiting. I got some things I need to get check off my list, and I'm not able to do that as long as I'm waiting on you, right? Although we're never waiting on God. God's always waiting on us to show up and be who He needs us to be before He can bring the blessing to us. But we don't want to hear that, right? Anyway, so as I'm talking, go out. I've been on here 5 minutes already. I'm just being open. Anyway, so as I'm praying in the closet, and I'm like, God, please, like, I need you right now. Like, I'm done trying to figure it out. I'm done trying to do it my way. I'm done trying to make it happen. I'm done trying to what I say, I'm done trying to be in this. I'm done being in this moment. Like, I need a shift. I need a reset. I need help. I need you. Please, like, I surrender to you. I'm sorry. And then as I'm sitting in there, God starts speaking to me. In my prayer, He's starting to speak to me. And first, He started saying to me how you've been so busy pointing the finger at some other people. You've been so busy at trying to help other people. You've been so busy at trying to say certain things about other people, but you haven't focused on yourself. You've been focusing on everybody else, but you haven't focused on yourself. And you've been selfish, first off, And what I mean by selfish is the fact that I've not been really putting God first. I've been saying that I put God first, but what I've really been doing is hoping that He would give me my desires. This is what I want, God. This is what I want from you, God. So can you please give me that? Right? Can you give this to me? Because this is what I want. So this is what I've been saying. And then while I have faith that it's going to come through, but I'm still wanting what I want. I'm not wanting what God wants from me. I want what I want. And God, I want marriage, right? God, I want high success, not just a little bit of success I got. I want big success. I want to live in a freaking $2 million home, God. I want to drive in a Range Rover, God. There's these things that I want and these desires, these worldly desires that I'm wishing that God would just give to me. I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of waiting. And so and I got down and I prayed. And that came up in me. It said, Amber, you've been being selfish. You've been saying that you've been putting God first, but you've been wanting what you wanted. And unless you got it your way, then you didn't want it, right? You wouldn't say, you probably wouldn't say it was from God if it wasn't what you wanted. And so I'm sitting there and I'm crying and I'm finally saying, like, God, I'm sorry. I had to apologize to God because I've been sitting here asking for these things, but never once believing or that He would give me either that or greater, right? Never believing that He would give me what I need to fulfill me. So I had to apologize, say, God, I'm so sorry that I was so selfish that I didn't believe you would fulfill me and take care of me the way I needed to be taken care of. I'm so sorry that I didn't. We got cars riding by and stuff. I'm in my neighborhood, and I'm so sorry that I did not trust you enough. And I'm sorry that I'm putting people before you. Sorry that I put me before you instead of putting you before me. Saying, God, you're my number one. You, then me, right? You're my source. You're my provider. You're my counselor. You're everything to me. And so I had to really sit and apologize. And then I asked God, what do you need? What do you need from me? Because I'm willing to do what you need from me because I know that as long as I do for you what you need from me, I serve, right? That I'll get what I need and what I desire. So I sat down after I got done praying, said, okay. And then I sat in meditation in my closet. I'm just sitting there. I didn't turn a timer on. Normally I got a timer on. Didn't turn a timer on. I literally just sat. Just sat. Nothing else. Sat in silence. And guess what came up? Guess guess what I said, God, what do I need? What do I need to do? How can I be better? And the very, very first thing he said to me is, "You need to cry for the little girl that's still in you." Oh, I'm getting worked up a little bit. You need to cry for that little girl because the problem is that I heard today is that God wants us to be whole. And until we get to this place of wholeness, He's going to break off all those broken parts in us. So there are some things that I still have not addressed within me. You need to cry for the little girl who was neglected as a child, whose father walked out of her life at 6 years old, now such a daddy's girl. Oh, I love my daddy. Ain't seen that man in 30 years. Um, he said, "You need to cry for the little girl whose mother neglected her and wasn't there, who father abandoned her and mother neglected her because my mom was there, but she never gave me the love that I felt like I needed as a child, the nurturing, the caring, the hugging, the baby girl, you okay? All that. She gave me that as an adult. She didn't give me that as a little girl, though. And it wasn't until like the last few years of her life that she even gave it to me then." So I guess she softened up a little, learned a little, I don't know. But as a child, I didn't get that. And now I crave to be loved properly. Now I crave to have someone touch me in a way that I never was touched. And what I mean by that is to be held and coddled and said, I'll be there for you and you'll be good and I'll take care of you. But I crave for that from outside people that's not God. And when God said, weep for that little girl, cry for her. Because I didn't cry when I was little. I just endured. I just took it. I just said, "Yeah, this is what it's supposed to be. This is all I know." So if all this is all I know, I'm not crying. I'm not crying because of it. Another thing that I had to deal with as a child is um I gave up. I had a child. I got pregnant at 11. And I had my daughter at 12, and I gave my child up for adoption at 12 years old. And my mom had a little girl too, my little sister that I take care of, you know. And so and God also said in my spirit during that time, you know, He said, cry for the little girl who had to give her daughter up for adoption, but yet she still had to take care of a child that wasn't hers because I gave my child up for adoption, but I still took care of my little sister. They were only 6 months apart. My sister's 6 months older, so my daughter was first born and my sister was 6 months. Yes, me and my mom was pregnant at the same time. That story is a whole other story. If you want to go listen to my life, I got lots of lives on here that talks about it. But sorry, it's like grief for the little girl who had to give her daughter up. I gave my daughter up for adoption, and now I'm taking care of my little sister. And it's like, wow, you gave your child up, but now you're taking care of your mom's child because she had an addiction. She was a gambler, so I had to take care of her. So there was I didn't get to be a child. I had to be an adult at a very young age. Actually, since I was 10, I took care of my little brother too, who's 2 years younger than me. And I still had to take care of him as well. And I think it was even before then, but we're not gonna get back. We're not gonna get into all that. Just, and I'm not gonna tell you every single thing he said to me, but those are some of the things that I struggle with. That God was telling me that you need to cry for that little girl that never got the love that she desired, that never got it, and now you want it so desperately that you will put other people before me and your relationship, before me and God's relationship, putting other people before us. I'm putting myself before Him, my own selfish desires. Not thinking about the fact that God got me. All I need is Him. He fills me in a way that no one else can fill me. He gives me what I need. He gives me the love that I need. And when I get to the space of wholeness, everyone else is just extra. Everyone else is an accessory to that. Everyone else is an added version of the love that God already gives me. So all of this for 15 minutes of talking almost. I'm really getting on here. Like I said, because I know somebody else is dealing with it. If I'm dealing with it, I don't think I'm alone. It's just to tell you that if you're in a space where you're struggling, or maybe you got some childhood trauma that you are not over, that you have not grieved the little girl that you struggle with and had to deal with maybe growing up at a young age. Little girl that may have been molested and abused as a child. The little girl who maybe was a teen parent and struggled. Whatever it is that you deal with, God is saying to you at this moment to cry for her. Cry for her because she has not been able to cry for herself. Cry for her and let it go. cry for her and realize that that pain is something that doesn't have to sit with you. That pain God wants for you. God also told me that you can rest now. When you cry for her now, you can rest. You don't have to keep trying so hard to get all these things. I'm just going to give them to you. But I need to break off that brokenness first, right? I need to break off the things that, I'm sorry if it's too windy, guys. I can't really tell, but it is a little windy now. But I need to break off those broken pieces of you. Because when you break off that, then you'll be able and prepared for the season of success that you want to be in, whatever it is that you're desiring. Whether you desire love, marriage, I don't know what it is that you're desiring. But you'll be ready and you'll be prepared for it. But you'll be prepared for it because you broke off those brokenness areas. You've healed those. You've cried for that little girl. So cry for her. Let her go. Let her rest. She's gone now. You're the grown woman that can now lean in on God and let Him know what you're struggling with. Give it to Him. I felt a release in my closet. A release. I felt like, it's like out of my head. Out of my head. It was all of a sudden out of my head. I just felt like peace. It was a release. Now, I'm not saying everything's going to be so amazing now. No, I don't know that, What I'm saying is that it helped release and be aware of now the broken parts of me that I had in me, and I gave that to God, and now He can start restoring and filling me in ways that I wish I was filled up. But I've been holding on to that little girl so tight that I didn't even let her cry. I didn't even let her cry. I was strong. But I bawled when he said that. Like I've had snot and bubbles all over. Come on, stop acting like y'all don't cry hard. I had snot bubbles over there, crying. I got tissue all over. Oh my God. Oh, this just happened today, by the way, too. This is literally this was today, a few hours ago. So I'm getting on here, and I just want to be of some encouragement to whoever is watching this, and let you know that you are not alone. You are not alone. You have God to be alone. And if you need and you really are struggling, my link tree is on here. Put my link tree on here for you to be able to book a consultation with me. Obviously, I'll be booked. I'm not sure how far booked out I am. I am on hold now at why I have COVID. But starting next week, I'll be taking appointments again. Book a consultation with me. Let's talk. Let's get to the bottom of the things that you're struggling with. As you can see, you're not alone. You don't have to deal with it by yourself. I don't have to do that. I would never want to deal with something like this by myself. I do have friends that I can call and talk to as well. But at first I had to lean in on God and ask Him what I need to do because my source is God. My answers come from God. And I don't want to have a relationship better than the relationship I have with God with anyone. So that's who I go to first, and that's why I advise you to go to first. And then the worldly stuff and the other things that you need to unpack, you book a consultation with me and we can go through that, and I will help you with the struggles that you have and help you overcome the things that you've dealt with because I know it's hard when you don't understand. All right. So I love you. I love you. I love you. Peace, prosperity, joy. I'm praying for you. All right. Again, it's me, your girl, Amber Nicole. I am walking back home. And I'm going to lay back down and rest and relax until I'm off quarantine. All right. Bye, guys.